Hi students, welcome to online class. In this video, we are going to discuss about chapter 12 arrays and structures. Now we are going to see the new concept called two-dimensional array. So in the previous videos, we have discussed about one-dimensional array, and then we discussed about how to declare the one-dimensional array, and then what is the syntax, and then how to initialize the one-dimensional array. So we discussed all those things about one-dimensional array. Now we are going to see about two-dimensional array. What is mean by two-dimensional array? See, 2D array are the collection of similar elements. So all the elements are stored in the certain number of rows and columns. So two-dimensional array means which contains the similar elements. Similar elements means similar type of elements. Similar type of elements means all the elements will be integer, or all the elements will be floating point values, or all the elements will be character, or all the elements will be double data type. So based on the data type, the elements will be similar, and then all the similar elements will be represented. All the similar elements will be represented in the form of rows and columns. See, in mathematics you might have studied as matrix. So here you can see with the you can just compare with the matrix. Two-dimensional array will be looking like a matrix. See here an example, M cross N matrix. M cross N matrix, where M denotes the number of rows and N denotes the number of columns. Can you understand, students? So two-dimensional array means which consists of similar elements, collection of similar elements. All the elements will be represented in the form of rows and columns. It can be represented by M cross N matrix, where M represents the number of rows and N represents the number of columns. So they have given you a simple example, int ARR of 3 of 3. Int ARR 3 of 3. ARR represents array. Here ARR represents array. So int ARR 3 of 3. That is 3 represents the first 3 represents the row size, and then second 3 represents the column size. So see here you can see the two-dimensional array memory representation. You can see here two-dimensional array representation for the above example. So int ARR 3 of 3. So 3 of 3 means 3 rows, 3 columns. 3 rows, 3 columns. So how many elements? Just you multiply row into column. So 3 into 3, 9 elements. So totally there are 9 elements are there in the two-dimensional array. Now you see here the memory representation of the two-dimensional array. You can see first element represents ARR 0 of 0. Array 0 of 0. So 0th row, 0th column. 0th row, 0th column. And then ARR 0 of 1. So 0th row, first column. Then ARR 0 of 2. 0th row, second column. So like that the next row, that is ARR 1 of 0. That is array 1 of 0. Then array 1 of 1. Then array 1 of 2. So this is first row. So first row 3 columns. It is represented by 1 of 0, 1 of 1 and 1 of 2. Then 0th row, that is 0th row 3 columns. So 0 of 0, 0 of 1 and then 0 of 2. Like that, see the second row. Second row means 2 of 0, 2 of 1, 2 of 2. Can you understand, students? So here the row subscript. Here you can see the row subscript. So this represents 0th row, first row, second row. So row subscript is represented here, and then you can see in a horizontal manner that represents the column subscript. So vertical manner row subscript, and then horizontal manner column subscript is mentioned here. So 0th column, this first represents 0th column, then this represents first column, then last column represents the second column. Like that row also, 0th row, first row and then second row. Can you understand, students? So memory representation for the two-dimensional array. The array ARR can be conceptually viewed in matrix. The array ARR can be conceptually viewed in matrix form with 3 rows and 3 columns. So the matrix, it will be looking like in a matrix format. It will be looking like a matrix format that represents 3 rows and 3 columns. In the above example, it represents 3 rows, 3 columns, where first 3 represents row, then second 3 represent the column. So 3 cross 3 means totally 9 elements. And then you want to note down the point. The point to be noted here is, since the array subscript always starts with 0, ARR 0 of 0, that represents the first element. ARR 0 of 0, that represents the first element. Then ARR 0 of 1, that represents the second element. So like that it goes on. Can you understand, students? Two-dimensional array is always represented by rows and columns. Right? M represents the row, N represents the column. Array subscript always starts with 0. So ARR 0 of 0 represents the first element. Like that ARR 0 of 1, that represents the second element. Like that it goes on based on the array size. Can you understand, students? Two-dimensional array can be represented in the form of matrix. It will be looking like a matrix format. You might have studied in mathematics in lower classes. Can you understand, students? Now we are going to see how to declare the 2D array. Declaration of two-dimensional array. See the syntax here. So first of all, data type should be given. The data type represents the fundamental data type, integer, character, float, double, like that. Then array name should be specified. After the data type, array name should be specified. Then first dimension represents the row size. First dimension represents the row size. Then second dimension that represents the column size. First dimension represents the row size. Second dimension represents the column size. See here, in the above declaration, data type refers to the any valid C++ data type. Data type refers to any valid C++ data type such as integer, character, float, double. And then array underscore name refers to the name of the 2D array. Array underscore name refers to the name of the two-dimensional array. Then row size represents the size of that refers to the number of rows. Row size refers to the number of rows. How many number of rows the two-dimensional array consists of. Right? So row size refers to the number of rows. And then column size refers to the number of columns in this two-dimensional array. Right? So whatever the 2D array you are declaring, that consists of this much of rows and this much of columns. N number of rows and n number of columns. Like that we can say. Can you understand, students? See here. So example is given there. Int a of 3 of 4. Int a of 3 of 4. From this what can you understand? So from this example we can understand that A is a 2D array. A is the two-dimensional array. And then the 3 represents the number of rows. That 3 denotes the number of rows. And 4 denotes the number of columns. And 4 denotes the number of columns. Can you understand, students? Int A 3 of 4. Right? A represents the array name. Then 3 represents the number of rows and 4 represents the number of columns. Then how can I find out how many elements are there in the 2D array? How can I find out how many elements are there in the two-dimensional array? Very simple. You want to multiply the rows and columns. So that's why they told m cross n. M cross n. M represents the number of rows and n represents the number of columns. So 3 into 4, automatically you will get 12. So this array can hold maximum of 12 elements. This array can hold maximum of 12 elements. Can you understand, students? So array size must be an unsigned integer value which is greater than 0. Array size must be an unsigned integer. Array size must be an unsigned integer value which is greater than 0. So already we studied this point that array size should be an positive value. Array size should be a positive value. It should not be a negative value. So that's why they told array size must be an unsigned integer value which is always greater than 0. Can you understand, students? And then you can see in arrays, that is in two-dimensional array, column size is compulsory but row size is optional. In arrays, the column size is compulsory but row size is optional. So that means whenever we are declaring the two-dimensional array, the column size should be given compulsorily. You can leave the row size. You no need to give the row size. Then some boys will ask a question. Sir, if row size is not mentioned, then how the compiler will calculate the memory, will calculate the number of elements? See, row size is optional means they have mentioned the column size in a compulsory manner. So whenever we are specifying the column size and then whenever we are assigning the values, that is whenever we are initializing the values for the 2D array, so the compiler can calculate the row size in a easier manner. Can you understand, students? Whenever you are not specifying the row size, whenever you are specifying the column size alone, at the time we used to initialize the values. So whenever we are initializing the values, the compiler can understand and then it can automatically calculate the row size. It can calculate the row size in an automatic manner based on the values which are initialized. So that is what they are saying. In two-dimensional array, the column size is compulsory but row size is optional. So some examples for the 2D arrays are given here. See here, int a 3 of 3. Int a 3 of 3. So int a 3 of 3 means totally how many elements are there? Totally 9 elements are there. So all the 9 elements are integer values. And then see the next example, float x of 2 of 3. So from this what can you understand? X is the array name and then 2 is the row size, 3 is the column size. So x belongs to floating type of values. X is an array, two-dimensional array that belongs to floating type. So 2 cross 3 means, so totally 6 floating point values can be held by this array. 6 floating point values can be held by this array. Like that, see the next one, character name of 5 of 20. So from this what can you understand? So name is the array name. And then 5 is the row size and 20 is the column size. 5 is the row size and then 20 is the column size. As it is character data type, each and every element occupies only 1 byte. So 20 plus 5, 25 characters can be held by this array. So totally 25 characters can be held by this array. Can you understand, students? So I hope you might have understood this video. So let's end the class. So thank you, students.